1, 2. This pair is about more than just mathematical magic. It's about the booming metropolis that became San Francisco and the new population of people wearing 501 jeans. This is the 1901 501 XX episode, now on Den in Denim. Finding the heart of San Francisco has been meandering across the decades and centuries. While most of California was established under the mission system, San Francisco was initially set up as a military fort because of its functionality as a protected harbor. That's why the Presidio is actually the first center of the city named San Francisco. The natural bay area and peninsula of San Francisco was an ideal harbor. This would shape the fate of the city. Once the U.S. granted statehood to California, the American military built forts on Alcatraz Island as well as on the Pacific side of the peninsula, known as the Golden Gate. The military presence in the city hit a peak in 1898 during the Spanish-American War, when it became the most guarded fort in the country. And even to this day, Coast Guard has a major role to play in the economics and logistics of San Francisco. South of Market, the downtown area. By 1850, the center of the city had relocated to where the financial district and south of Market are now. This is where the first Levi's headquarters, store, and factory opened on 14 and 16 Battery Street. And a slew of other still recognizable businesses would have found their start in this neighborhood as well. The gold rush drew folks from all over the world. Almost every country could said to have inhabitants in 1900 San Francisco. By that, we mean every country in Europe, all nations along the Pacific from South America, Asia, and Australia. The way San Francisco is layered upon itself, with an open market for everything desirable, the sense of keeping to your own kind was superseded by an ambition, and the residents became to feel more American more quickly than any other place in the country. Neighborhoods like North Beach, which were quoted in history as being predominantly Italian neighborhoods, were no more than 25% Italian. Noe Valley had a slightly larger French population, but each neighborhood had a mix of folks from all over the world. The French influence of San Francisco is something of a unique flavor in the American West, and is said to have added to the high culture of the day and helped make San Francisco the Paris of the Pacific. While many neighborhoods were multicultural, Chinatown was the exception. The immigration and residential facilities were run by the six companies that suppressed its own population for labor, as well as San Francisco City Hall, which laid down cruel rules designed to make everything in Chinatown illegal. On the opposite end of that spectrum would be Pacific Heights. Now this was the nouveau riche neighborhood established in Mr. Strauss's time that he would have moved to with his fortune. While I don't have his address, I conclude it was within walking proximity to the Synagogue Emmanuel, which he helped build. Eventually, Mr. Strauss would retire to his sister's home just south of San Francisco Peninsula in Atherton, probably where these family photos take place. 1873 was a big year for San Francisco. Besides the patent year of the rivet, it was the first commission of the cable car, an iconic city attraction which would have gone up and down from prestigious neighborhoods of Nob Hill down to Kearny Street in the financial district. Golden Gate Park was originally a barren sand dune, but after the 1870s, it became a forest and recreational area that has been a sense of pride in the city ever since. One last fun neighborhood is Fisherman's Wharf. Now this is actually a section of prime real estate where fishermen have been allowed to fish and sell their fish since 1884. It became a tourist attraction in the 1980s, and of course it's just this tourist invention nowadays with nothing left of it. The city of San Francisco in this changing time, from not being the epitome of the gold rush to now just being a port city along the Pacific that's taking in people who want to come to America, and some of them are staying in the city, some of them are going off to other states and frontiers, but they're all passing through here. This is all their chance to see these XX 501 jeans. Some people bought a pair, took it on to their other adventures. Some people stayed in the city and wore them. San Francisco was blossoming into a marvelous city at the turn of the century. But it would soon all come burning down. But that'll have to wait till the next episode. Let's have fun with the 1901s now. This is still the Davis cut, but I can feel some differences between the 1901 and the 1890 pairs. The 1890 is more rounded in the waist. The 1901 is more straight. This means you can downsize if need be. I'm usually a 31. I'm wearing a 32 waist that has been shrunken by someone a little larger. They fit me great. In the summer, I need a belt, but I have to say, I've been wearing them for over 100 days this last year, and they are my go-to pair. This particular pair had belt loops sewn on, and I haven't had the heart to cut them off. But also, the cinch was removed, and I need a cinch or belt loops to hang them on the rack here. I would try to get your true size or one size smaller if buying a distressed pair, but you could go one size up if you're buying a rigid and shrinking them. Pockets. Pockets stands for Personal Object Carrying Kit. Enjoy, thus subscribe. Well, the idea of the pocket is possibly humankind's first invention. Sharp rock possibly goes to a previous Homo, and our first achievement was the container. What started out as baskets for seeds and fruit turned into vessels, nets, and pouches for other purposes. Jump ahead through the ages and we see that folks love their pouches, handbags, and satchels. The pouch and garment finally came together in the 17th century as people started to live in cities with roommates. Trust became scarcer, and sometimes the only personal space you could have were the pockets in your pants. Now, as for the story of the rear pockets in Levi's, miners didn't want a pocket where they would sit, especially one with a hard, pointy rivet. Most of the miners would sit with one butt cheek against a rock, chipping away at a rock in their hand or a section in the mind. Let's now get familiar with the 6 pockets on a pair of Levi's jeans. That's right, 6. Hold on for it. Since 1873, there have been 2 front pocket bags. First made out of denim, later cotton, eventually nylon. And also 1 rear pocket on the right side. During the 1880s, Levi's XX did in fact have 5 pockets. The aforementioned plus a ruler pocket on the left side of the leg just above the knee. It was affixed by rivets and could be used for a ruler, to measure your gold nuggets, a knife, a pen knife, or a magic wand. By 1890, they had removed it from the 501s. Then there's the most famed of pockets. Most often called the watch pocket, less often called the fob pocket, frontier pocket, condom pocket, coin pocket, match pocket, and ticket pocket. And nowadays, called the 5th pocket. But it's a 19th century style that stayed on jeans yet was removed from most other men's trousers. Its original idea was to have a place to attach a pin or clip, some kind of fob, with a chain that goes to your pocket, either the jean pockets or a vest pocket, in which you would keep your pocket watch. I do have a family heirloom pocket watch, and I am aching to get it fixed for use here. I see some pictures where they're attaching the chain to the belt loop, but this wouldn't have been the original intention. Remember, there weren't belt loops on jeans until 1922. Michel Gondry directed a Levi's commercial showing a 1933 pair of 501s, and the 5th pocket is used for the condom pocket. We keep our most precious and secretive items in this magical 5th pocket. I'd often find the fortunes from a fortune cookie in there. I used to keep some cash once in a while. Now it's mostly my wedding ring when I'm doing the dishes. Leave me a comment about what you use your 5th pocket for. Of course there's 2 rear pockets, but this pair reflects a lot more about the coming age with dark, rigid dies, smoother interlock seams, and tighter shank buttons. Otherwise, it would follow the same details as similar years. 2-horse leather patch, suspender buttons, shorter cotton front pocket bags, a cinch, and of course, crotch rivet. There's a dead stock 0016 model and a rigid 0017. Both are shrink to fit 10-ounce denim. The newest rigid from 2023 has donut buttons similar to the 201s, and also a natural indigo dye. Buying rigid or dead stock is your only way of getting shrink to fit and the first guarantee tag, marked at over 26 years, which would of course leave it at $18.99. If you want more information about the history of the guarantee tags as well as the patch, check out the 1890 video. Now, there have been a few archival limited edition pieces. Stumpy. Stumpy has been named for both the one-legged 1880s pair and this early 1900s pair. The LVC piece comes with a longer cinch and a fabric belt. Wonderful whiskers and white paint speckles that let you know the original owner huffed too much lead paint. Fillmore. Fillmore comes in a darker tone with a rounded square knee patch that makes it look dollish, and a green stained leather 2-horse patch. Now, this green stain is a possible sign of the leather rubbing against copper. The original owner could have been a miner, but also could have had a brass, copper, or bronze tool at his hip. Denim Devotee is just shredded. I mean, this one survived some kind of rectal disaster, but has been lovingly sewn with organic flows to keep the shape of the rips. It also came with a custom tote bag. Immortal Indigo. This pair has been repaired using strong darting methods. It makes the repaired parts rougher than cotton denim. This pair also has the beginnings of some honeycombs in the back knees. There are also a couple of these released in boxed sets for Japan and Hong Kong only. Greed 1924. This is a top recommendation of all of the films that I'm given. This is in like the top 5 of all the films. Greed 1924. Celebrate the centennial year of this masterpiece, filmed entirely on location in San Francisco, Death Valley, and the Bay Area. It's a story of love and riches, lottery winnings gone bad, betrayal from your best friend and lover. Circa 1900 San Francisco, the use of gold contrasted lighting and character placement, as well as storytelling and facial acting that is beyond anything we see today without being in Jim Carrey over-the-top mode. This is one of the must-watch films of all time. There's a 2-hour version free on YouTube. There's also a 4-hour version, and the original was set to be over 8 hours, but most of the reels have since been lost. Yes, I know it's a silent film, but it's also one of the best films ever made, and I know most of my audience can handle it and would love it. There's also a very recent, from a couple years ago, Filipino language remake. Not sure how it is, but I have a lot of viewers in the Philippines. Hi, guys. But hey, I understand. Silent flicks aren't your thing. How about a dude from 1893 London goes to 1979 San Francisco to catch Jack the Ripper? Have you now? Cool. Time After Time's a romp that is totally worth checking out. If you want to meet somewhere in the middle of these films, Barbary Coast 1935 stars Edward G. Robinson. It's watchable. It's actually a watchable film, and you can view it on YouTube free. I had fun flipping through it, looking for any signs of Levi's, but it's just a classic Hollywood film. Still, really gotta recommend The Greed if you can handle it. In 1901, Levi Strauss introduced the first 5-pocket waist overalls. The first modern blue jeans, with 5 pockets instead of 4. Made from 10-ounce plain selvage, shrink-to-fit denim, with exposed rivets on the back pockets and crotch, an irregularly hand-stitched single-needle arcuate stitching design, and a real leather 2-horse patch. For workwear, Levi's waist overalls were unsurpassed, forging a unique relationship between Levi's overalls and their owners engendered genuine pride, enduring good times with the bad in silent union. They were a worker's constant companion in rigid indigo denim. The pants, now called simply overalls, are adapted to suit the times, featuring 2 back pockets with a single needle arcuate stitching design, characteristically uneven in form, the beloved watch pocket, cinch, suspender buttons, and copper rivets remain firmly in place. What we call jeans were once called overalls, and that's why this section is called overall. But it's also a recap of talking about this particular pair. Now, there are some years that are radically different from the years before. They changed, and Levi's helps make them more significant by recreating them. 1901 is seen sort of as one of those years by adding this pocket, but I don't think that's really its main purpose there. I think this pair is great, but you can also get the 1915 if you want something from this era, and it's pretty much identical. As far as, do you need a back left pocket? I don't know. I use my 1890s and I'm fine with them, but of course when I use that, I'm slipping my phone into my left back pocket and there's nothing there. I had a fun time making this video and doing some of the research. I want to give a huge shout out to Fitsanu Boone Prossert, my gold member. Join the Patreon, you'll get extra features, advanced video releases, and be supporting the channel. You can also support the channel by going to Unbleached Apparel, and whatever you order from them, you'll get a discount of 5% off, plus a couple bucks will go my way if you use the code DENINDENIM. Like, subscribe, and share always helps out. I'm on Instagram too. You can send me a message there and I'm more likely to reply. Thanks for all your messages. They mean a lot. I'm Den. Thanks for watching. Love your jeans.